And in this one, we're going to have a look at the black, as you can see right here. So we'll have a look at some things on the ground with him and let you know what horse traits we're talking about, we're looking at, what he's displaying, and also what human traits I'm showing to help you maybe look at your horse a little bit different, look at your training a little bit different, and get into the full aspect of developing yourself first and then developing your horse from that. We'll also take a look at some of Ludwig out in the pasture and some acrobats he does, and then inside the hall, and then also have a look at Casper as well along the way here. So we'll start to look at, again, the horse traits and the human traits to get these processes happening. So we'll go back to the black and just let you see what's happening here. So what the case is in this point is we've brought the horses into the inside arena, and outside over here there's mares, and over this side there's a stallion running up and down the rail or the fence line. And so the black is a bit distracted, shall we say, and not so interested in being calm, and as you could just see there, not being attentive, often not maintaining so well. But it's a great process to go through here to just see what we can do, how I can handle it, and what I have to do to help him through this process and get him into the first 5 traits or 6 traits that we're looking for. So I'll just go back and start again. So here, I just ask him to move his feet. It's not about circling here, that's why I'm walking with him. I don't want to just go circle, circle, circle. So I want to move with him and then put in some sideways to help with the attentive. And this is all about a flow and go, and try to flow with him without making big requests or huge phases or anything else. And you can see him bow up a little bit there as he takes off. So, and there he looks out towards the stallion, out to his right. So I say, please go a little bit sideways. And you can use the shape of the arena a little bit. So on the longer sides, we can go sideways. And in the shorter sides, go kind of across, but it's still a bit curved. So it's like a rectangle with a bit rounded on the ends. So here I just asked him to change direction, and he looked really nicely at me, so he paid attention. And then he got a little bit stuck, didn't go off so easy. But again, it's not about asking him to go super hard or fast or anything else. Asked him again to take away his zone 4 and change direction. Here, come towards me, and then I push him away on the front end a little bit. So this whole process, I'm looking for his courageous, how it looks. I mean, he looks pretty courageous, but he's a bit apprehensive in places, like we're back here where we did the change. He's kind of got a little stuck there. So we call this a bit apprehensive. And but then he flows on again. He's really quite compliant right now. He's moving off me. He's going where I'm asking, mostly. But then we start to look at calm, and right now he's looking reasonably calm, but then he just took off into a canter, so there's a little bit agitated. Again, he jumped and reared and bounced a bit here, and I'll come back to this. So this shows his agitation in this case, and definitely not maintaining, because I asked him just to go off at a trot, but he went off in a bouncy canter. And here what I want to show you is what I do is I don't try and hold him and make him wrong for this. I allow some up and down in the rope. So the rope is not tight, but he's turned, like he's, you could say, really quite sensitive here on the halter, because he can feel this rope pulling a little bit and thinks that he should not pull on the rope. But now I go with him more. I move to his direction. So here the rope has got a little bit tight, but I've let my arm go so that it doesn't pull so hard on him. And then I walk towards him. I even had to do a little jump just here. You can see a jump in the air, so it's not pulling so much on the rope. I don't want to make this so wrong for him. So we could talk a little bit here then about the human traits. And of course I could stand there and just hold the rope and say, hey, don't pull on this. I want you to be compliant, not pushy. But the case here is that I am courageous enough to be with him, courageous enough to be on this shorter rope with his exuberance that he has right at the moment with all the horses carrying on, and the stallion was actually running up and down and yelling as well. So this is something in the environment that I can't control, but I can control how I react or respond to this. So I'm courageous enough to handle it at this point, and I'm calm enough when he gets pulling or jumping or rearing or doing the things that he was doing before. I stay calm. I don't make this a problem for him, and I don't make it a problem for me. But what I'm also showing is a focus of what I want. That is, I want him to go round me on a bit of a curve at the end, and then do some sideways coming back down here, and then a curve on that end, and a bit of sideways coming back down here. So that's my focus. But again, it's not about the task at this point. It's about checking the traits and helping the black get more centered by me staying more centered. So I've got the focus. Then I go to aware. I'm really aware of where the barrels are, and I'm really aware of where the camera person, where Francie is standing right now, on this side of the black. So I have to allow some drift, but I also have to be really aware of how far I let him drift. I can't let him just drift into her and the other two horses. So awareness of my area, my spatial ability. I was really aware, as I showed you back here on the rope, when he started to pull further out, I let my arm go straighter, and then he pulled a bit more and I did a jump, so it didn't keep pulling on him. This is about awareness. But of course, what I'm talking about on all of this is feeling, so empathy for him, because this is actually the first time he's been inside the arena for quite some months, and with the other horses around the outside, this is quite a bit of pressure for the young horse. So I have feeling for him that this is not so easy for him to stay calm and maintain, and certainly not attentive. So I allow him to do this, and then it's about the timing, that when I let my arm go straight and when I jump, this is all timing, but it's also about timing of when to step in, help him, when to step in and go with him, when to step in and step in and stay still so that he has to yield to the halter. And then balance about this, whether I do it or whether I don't do this, whether I do step in to help him, whether I don't step in and he has to work it out. That's the balance part. So we'll go a little bit further and see what happens from here. So then he kind of gets himself back together and goes in a nice trot. Then he goes in a pretty nice canter to the right, but he loses his hind leg. So he's discombobulated here, cross-firing on the back. And now he says, I'll just show you that again. Okay, so this is a part here where it's really important for me to stay calm. Even though he kicked out like this, sure, you could say, it's nowhere near you. But when you're on the end of a 12-foot rope and you've got a big horse on the other end and he kind of throws up his back legs at you, you have to be a bit calm, courageous and calm, to not go pulling around. And in the old days, I certainly would have pulled on his head like hell and aimed at zone 4 with the stick. But now it's much more about, hey, let the horse do it, find out that it gives him nothing. If he gets nothing out of kicking up, it's kind of a lot of effort for him to do it. And if he's nowhere near me and I'm safe, then it doesn't matter. So now he felt the halter a little bit, knew that he shouldn't keep going, put in a little bit more gymnastic and acrobatic up on the front end. And again, I stayed calm and I give him the rope. Look, I lift my hand towards him so it doesn't pull on him. So let him go again and then just ask him to go on. So he kind of stops over near the horses. Then he lost his hind leg again. The right hind leg got cross-firing. So really what I'm looking for him is to calm down, get more settled, more centered in the calm, and of course attentive, which he just did. And so when I can find a place for him to stop, that is where he settled down a little bit. So I go back and just show you. See here, he lost his hind leg, and then he said, maybe I should turn in and have a look at Tony. Like here, he got himself together, did a little jump up in front, and then I asked him just to go around a little bit further, and then he took off in a pretty nice trot. And then I could ask him just to, looked at him, looked at zone 4, he took it away and stopped and lowered his head.